Hi,
Hi,
I'm Nick.
I'm Jill,
And
and
we're
we're HipStrings.
Welcome to day A of the 2025 Base12 Spinalong. And I'm surprised we're already at one of the letter days.
Yeah.
So for us that are more used to the decimal system, day A is day 10. But when you're doing base 12, you need additional character to represent that number because we only have Arabic numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what scientists and computer scientists and everything have done is you basically start adding in letters. And so it cycles to A. Okay. So I'm going to roll my die.
Oh gosh, the fiber key fell on the floor.
Oh, no.
The day A is Dumpster Fire, which is like my favorite signature blend for this year. Dumpster Fire replaced This Is Fine. So Dumpster Fire is 50% merino, 25% Shetland, 12.5% Tussa silk, and 12.5% silk.
And I rolled a 4.
So you're going back to
all
Chrome.
The way back. All the way back at Chrome, and everybody loved Chrome, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to be spinning this one. And Chrome is a hand-carded bat with 50% merino, 10% BFL, 10% Corriedale, 15% Tussa silk, 10% mulberry silk, and 5% viscose from bamboo. Yeah, the fiber key fell on the floor right as we started, so
Yeah.
that's why we're looking all the way down on the ground. Oh my gosh, you are.
What?
I'm
what?
Getting to it.
Yeah.
You didn't like the fact that I beat you yesterday.
Well, I've got texture today, so that's going to slow me down.
Well, I guess I don't have texture, but
No, it's a smooth bat. Everybody loves spinning it.
okay. Well, people love spinning the textured bats too.
Yeah, but look, I've got slubs to pull out.
Oh, all right. I can catch up. Not really.
And I can't just like slow down my tread length, so it's a little trickier.
I am
on the e-spinner.
Pretty slow today in general. I don't know if I just did too much or
I would bet on too much over the weekend because you always do.
Excuse me. Yeah. I got more of that coming, so sorry. Amy says, happy solstice. Happy solstice to you as well. We forgot to mention that.
Here's to brighter days ahead.
Now, the solstice changes the date every year, right?
It's one day or another.
Well, yes, it is a day.
No, but it's like the 21st or
it's usually within a day of it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like
it doesn't vary a
it's
lot.
not like Thanksgiving.
Cranky Crafts waves. Kathleen says, I'm having a slow day too, just catching up from the week. Oh man, it's the weekend already.
Yeah.
And the new week is about to start, so
yeah.
Yeah, my weekends are never that relaxing, but that's my own fault. I love doing stuff. I like taking the opportunity, and when I can, I do. And even when I can't, I do sometimes too. But I will be sending myself to bed right after this spin, so.
Good.
And Bags by Carol says, a base 12 miracle. I made a live. Love watching the recordings and learning about the fibers/spinning tips. Well, welcome. I am glad you're able to join us. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat.
Yeah, we struggle for topics in the last couple of days.
Because you guys have heard about everything that's happened throughout the year. And not too much happens in the way of shop updates, because we're winding down for the year now, and everybody's
and we're using the
purchases.
camera that I use for product listings for
Facebook. Crinkercraft says, this is the day when we are meant to rest the most. It's normal to have a slow day. The solstice is a moment to honor the fact that our bodies need more sleep/rest in the dark part of the year.
See?
Yeah, well, I am not honoring the solstice, apparently. I need to rest.
Get on it.
Yeah. We baked cookies today. And Chris wanted, we baked sugar cookies so that they can get decorated.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris wanted to bake some cookies for his teachers. So we did that. And we moved the 3D printer into your studio now.
Yep.
Still haven't set it up, but
Caught up on Percy Jackson. Finished My Hero Academia anime.
oh my god, I cried so much. I think actually on a ratio of shows or movies that I've watched versus ones that I've watched and cried on, I cry more with anime than I do with live action stuff. I don't know why. It's interesting. I hadn't realized it. My Neighbor Totoro makes me sob these days. I've seen that.
I mean, I can
A
think
good
of
20
quite a number of
times.
animated films that I can make you watch that will make you cry.
Yeah. And Kanto, I cry. That's not anime, but
Yeah. But animated.
is there any live action that makes me cry?
Moulin Rouge.
No, I don't cry with Moulin Rouge.
You don't cry with Moulin Rouge?
No, I don't. Maybe with Sweet November. Did I cry with that?
Oh, it'll definitely make you cry now.
Yeah,
That would just be mean.
that would be me. Amy says, it's my dad's birthday, so I always remember. As for Sundays, I meal prep for the week and watch football. And tennis tomorrow, so I'll be straight to bed when this is done. Crankercraft says, alternatively, you could stay awake watching the fire from sunset to sunup. But I like the restful moment better. I'm trying to think in terms of like, you know, there's like a point where you sit and watch the fire and fall asleep watching the fire, but don't realize that you're falling asleep watching the fire, right? And then you wake up at sunrise.
I would take watching a fire for the day over running Christmas errands.
Yeah, you had to go and do some returns. I think I already complained about 4K DVDs
Yes.
previously.
We
And-
ordered a Blu-ray replacement. They shipped us a 4K again.
Well, that was because the listing said Blu-ray, and all the pictures said 4K DVD.
Yeah.
Which, what a scam. But at least they took the return.
Yes, and I already got my money back. So.
Crankercraft says, Steven Universe makes me cry a ton. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I haven't watched enough of it to get to a point where I cry, but that is one of my brother's favorite shows. He even has the Steven Hamburger backpack. And when we went to Disney with him, he spent a day pseudo cosplaying Steven with the star shirt and the hamburger backpack. Although he is not short and fat. My brother is tall and lanky, so
Yeah.
it was quite an interesting look. I always said I was the Mario to my brother being Luigi, although my brother's the older one, so go figure.
I think you're lankier than him now. So.
Maybe. Crankercraft says, I want to get a quote from Steven Universe as a future tattoo. What's the quote? There's a great song from Steven Universe that I like listening to. Not the original version, but a cover of it, which was the... I don't remember exactly how it's goated, but it's one of those, mindfulness songs about it's just a thought.
So,
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Jam Knitter was talking about alternate and today's Deep Space. You did not count right. Deep Space is day 10, which is day 12.
Yeah.
It's number 1.
So yeah, I'll read the quote itself. Jam Knitter says, "Hello, Wowie, Jill. The blue alternate yesterday and today's Deep Space are just outstanding. If we use both gunmetal as main, do you think it'll work? Colorwork sweater." So yeah, Deep Space is going to be
The last day.
in decimal day 12.
Yes.
That's why it's 10, because you are increasing the 12's digit by 1 and the ones digit is 0. So we like throwing a little bit of education in there and confusing you. So so I'm going to read a couple of things here, and then you can get to answering the question. But
Okay.
so Karinka Kraft says the quote that she's going to get tattooed is, "Why don't you let yourself just be wherever you are?" That's a great quote. And James Knitter then says, "Or I do a sweater spin with all 3." And I'm sorry, Christmas knitting brain. I cannot count. Well, you can't count in base 12, but that's why we do this, to educate a little bit. Maybe one of these days, if we get adventurous, we'll bump it up to base 16 or something.
Oh gosh.
That'll really confuse people because you'll have to wait till day 16 to get the 1-0.
Yep.
Anyway, so the question was, if you use both with gunmetal as main, do you think it'll work as a colorwork sweater?
I'd have to double check how much contrast there is between gunmetal and deep space.
I haven't seen it yet, so.
And it would be a matter of if there's enough contrast.
Actually, yes, I have seen it.
Yes, you have. You have actually seen.
I have seen it. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of intensity of color, I think they're on the same level, but they're
well, it's the whole. You do
drastically
the black
different.
and white.
Right.
To see if there's contrast and shading.
Well, why don't you elaborate on that more rather than just call it do the black and white?
So if you take color out of so shades are how much black or white is in a color. And then in color work, you want to have contrasting shades. And you're not as, you want hues. Hues are the pure color. You want, hues that go well, but you also need there to be contrast in the shades. So one way to check whether or not there's contrast in the shades for color work is to take a picture of everything you want to work with and convert it to black and white. And if you can tell the difference between your different colors when you reduce it to black and white, then you'll have enough contrast so the different shades pop in the contrast. Otherwise, if they're all the same shade but different hues, when you do the color work, it all kind of just optically blends and you don't really...
It's not as stark.
Yeah. Yeah. Like your cowl you've been working on. The colors...
that was exactly the same color. Don't...
Yes.
Let's see. Kathleen Fry says, "I'm the weirdo that doesn't get confused until base 12 because I see A and my brain goes straight to hex." James Knitter says, "Yep, deep space will not be enough contrast, I fear. Might use it as a sweater by itself." And Hollis is adding the term color value.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to represent color in terms of numbers. You know what? In the glass world, because I don't know if you know, in my day job, I work for a glass manufacturer making electric windows. Don't get me started. So
somehow you have an easier time explaining to people on an airplane what you do compared to me.
No, they just sort of glaze over and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. That's weird."
I get the same response.
So, in the glass world, we use A star, B star, and L star.
What?
L star is how much black is in it, basically.
Okay.
So, I think the higher the L value, the lighter the color.
Okay.
Might be the other way around. I don't. I know that we use this, and I don't know it very well. I think A star is the difference. On one side you've got green, and the other side you have pink. And B star, one side you have blue, and the other side you have yellow.
Okay.
And so you represent how neutral something is by how close to zero the A star and B star are. And the L star, all that matters is how transparent the glass is.
Okay.
So, I mean, you can translate the same thing into any sort of color representation. Then there's the hexadecimal representation of RGB. For monitors, there's CMYK.
For printing.
Yep. Where C is cyan, magenta, yellow, and K
Black.
is black, because B was taken for blue. Those are probably the three main ways to represent colors and numbers.
Yeah.
So there is a guy on YouTube, can't remember his name for the life of me, but he talks about Japanese history. And if you know about Japanese, one of the very interesting things is that the word for green and the word for blue sometimes are interchangeable. And it depends on what you're talking about. And the reason for that is they used to only have, in ancient Japan, 4 color words: red, blue, white, or black. And if something was cool colored, it would just be blue. So green was blue, and yellow was red.
So you know how the whole, like, the word blue doesn't come into the English, like, into European languages until we actually have a
dye for it?
A dye for it?
Yeah.
If you think about the Japanese, their blue pigment is indigo. And indigo oxidizes from a yellowish green to blue.
Oh, really?
Really. When it's in a reduced state, it's like yellow-green.
Okay.
And then when it gets, when it's exposed to oxygen, it turns, indigo.
So that might have
Blue.
some explanation as to
Right.
why
So why the word?
the progression of that word, those words.
Why you have a word that means green or blue? It probably is related to
Oh, yeah.
that they're. It was based on indigo.
But now, it's really problematic. Not problematic. But it's very interesting. He was describing. So the reason why I love this guy is he talks about all sorts of wonderful, detailed, ancient Japanese history, and does it so emphatically with reference to modern anime and video games. So one of the examples that he gave was with the slimes from Dragon Quest.
Okay.
So there's a video game called Dragon Quest. One of the monsters you fight are slimes, and different colors of slimes are different powers.
Okay.
And if it's a blue slime, it's called a blue slime. If it's a red slime, it's called a red slime. If it's a green slime,
It's called a blue slime?
no, it's called a slime that's the color of a frog. And the purple slime is the slime that's the color of this specific vegetable root. And so it's the way that they have to jump through hoops because they don't have. Well, now they have specific colors for it, specific words. So
Have they
Midori,
added?
Midori is green in Japanese, but
Yeah.
you don't.
That's why the
just-
liquor's called Midori.
That's why the liquor's called Midori. But you don't have. You don't just use green as an adjective.
Yeah.
You use it as a descriptor in relationship to something else, right? So, and I think it's Midori slime, but it's not Midori slime. It's Midori no slime or something like that. I'll have
Okay.
to go back and watch the video again. But the important thing is, when you're using the word blue, you could just use it as an adjective. When you're using the word green, it has additional qualifiers that
Oh,
have to go on
gosh.
it. And I'll just add excuse me, I'll just add the fact that Japanese is full of these very specific, I'll call them conjugations for their words. So, for example, counting multiple long cylindrical objects like umbrellas or pencils
Has
is
different.
different than counting multiple flat rectangular things like sheets of paper or books. So you would actually use different number words. Anyway, so Becky Nitz says there was a great episode of Radio Lab many years ago about color. There may have even been two. Color is such a fascinating thing.
Oh,
So,
there was a book. The name is Color. I think the author is Finlay, Finlay, and it goes through like Warji Biv, and each chapter is talking about a different color and its history, and it's fascinating.
there's a you mentioned it and you sort of glossed over it, the whole fact that the word blue doesn't really come up in history until there's a pigment for it.
Right.
And that happens across multiple cultures.
Right.
And then you might ask, but what about the sky? The sky is
They
clearly
call it
blue.
purple or green or
Or they just call it the sky.
yeah. They don't start really assigning a color. It gets described as weird things until there's blue.
Yeah. Until there's blue pigment.
Yeah, until I think the first one was, it's like ground up lapis is one of the first blues to hit Europe, and the blues that come from gemstones, and that's why Mary was always painted in blue, because it was the most expensive pigment. So to show reverence to Mary, you painted her blue.
And there's all these little details that like that you often miss. Like I never would have thought, hey, this is just color blue.
Yeah.
Blue is pretty. No, there was specific reason for it. It's like today, gilding something would be equivalent.
Yeah.
We take blue for granted quite a bit these days, but just like plastic used to be very special, the color blue used to be special. And really that's why we just wear so much blue and we do so much blue. It's just so fancy.
So fancy.
Speaking of fancy and things we are wearing, would you like to talk about our knits today?
Sure. We'll start with your sweater. You are wearing a Waits cardigan by Bristol Ivy.
That's why it's so heavy.
Haha. It's Waits.
Oh.
The yarn is some Superwash Merino Sport from Woolens and Nosh. I think the color was like Mexican hot chocolate or something.
It's this beautifully deep maroon.
And then I am knitting a
Not knitting, wearing.
wearing words. Oh gosh, I forget the name of the shawl. It's by Sarah Jordan. Is the pattern, and it is in hand spun. The yellow is some dyed gray merino silk, and the other color is the undercurrent signature blend. So I figured I'd wear it since I was working on carding undercurrent bats today.
Nice.
To show the little bit of difference between undercurrent, the signature blend, and undercurrent, the bats. It's a little different as a gradient.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a beautiful, complex neutral as a signature
Kathleen
blend.
is suggesting, is it the wind?
Yes, that is exactly it.
WYNNE.
And this is the second one I've knitted that, and I am currently knitting a Waits for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. in some in a wool cotton blend.
Is that the one in the dining room?
Yep.
I love the
I'm on the
drape
sleeves.
This is the particular yarn and the gauge you knit it at. It just flows, and it's so comfy, and it's warm. Stays out of the way. The one complaint I have about it is it's very hard to tell which side is up.
Yes. It is a very interesting construction.
Once you put it on, it's great, and you recognize very quickly whether it's on upside down or not. But when you're trying to put it on, it's a little confusing.
Yeah, I do enjoy Bristol Ivy for interesting construction.
Whenever you talk about interesting construction, I always think of the baby surprise
Yeah.
jacket. That was the first one you knit where you're like, I don't understand how this is going, but I'm just going to trust it.
Yep, and that's what you have to do. And it's so cute. I have to send one off to a cousin.
Okay. So we talked about color.
Yep. We talked about what we're wearing.
Talked about what we're wearing. Talked about what we did today.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely not finishing that cardigan. I don't know.
The one for Christopher?
Yeah, I might have to do a big push and see what I can finish before the end of the year, though.
You've gotten so much done on it. I mean, you finished both the sleeves.
Yeah, and before I knit on it already today, and before I knit on it today, I was at 8.5 inches into the body, and I need like 12 3/4, I think.
My knitting goal is to finish that pair of slippers for Adrian in time for Christmas. Which I think is doable, but I'm going to have to... really
Yeah, I'd
hunker
like to
down.
finish my weights, and I'd like to finish Chris's sweater. And I'd like to cast on a new hat for you.
Before the end of the year or before Christmas?
Oh, not before Christmas. Before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I need a new... I finished some socks for you.
Which I think I might
So
be
I
wearing.
need a new...
I might be wearing
I
the
need a
socks
new,
for you.
like, travel project. So I'm going to cast on a muscle burrow in some Zelda-inspired yarn from Another Crafty Girl.
That stuff you got this year
Yes.
at SSK, isn't it?
Because you need ways to keep your head warm.
I do. But I'm starting to grow my hair back. I don't know if you guys can notice. I've been having, even through the the days of the podcast, I've been growing my eyebrows back.
Yeah. I am excited about the eyebrows being back. And eyelashes.
Yeah. I'm going to lose it all again, but it's nice to be able to have, expressions again.
You always used to say when you grew a beard for the winter, and then like you shaved it in February, you would always say that you had to adjust like your facial expressions.
Well, there's that too, yeah.
Are you having to do that with getting your hair back?
Not with my eyebrows, no.
You're just as expressive.
I never noticed it. The thing with the beard is you feel it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't feel my eyebrows. I don't know. But the beard, not only does it, touch your lips, but it also, I don't want to say it's restrictive, but there's definitely a difference in how my face feels
Yeah.
with the beard. Yeah. I miss my winter beard, but
Yeah.
next year. Jill, can you explain, Jam Knitter says, can you explain the name for Day A? I thought dumpster fire would be red. It's too pretty to be dumpster fire. Congrats
Okay.
on the new hair growth.
So there are a couple different versions of the dumpster fire meme. most of them are a green dumpster with a fire inside, but that's not a good color combo. It's usually like a page or two down on your search results. There is a super cute cartoon dumpster fire that is a wonderful like aquamarine dumpster with a fire in it, and that's the one I chose.
So you've got the aquamarine with the flecks of fire in it.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not just fire; it's the dumpster with the fire.
Yes.
Jam Knitter says, "Oh, so we're spinning the dumpster." Yep. And you can light it on fire later.
Right. And the famous Pittsburgh dumpster fire was a like royal blue dumpster, floating in the flooding.
I forgot about that. We also have our bus that fell into the pothole, which is actually very
sinkhole.
similar colors.
Yeah.
The sinkhole, that's right.
Yeah, that bus was a like turquoise bus.
Yeah.
I should dye that again.
Yeah.
I have a sinkhole colorway. It's a tribute to the bus that got swallowed by a sinkhole in downtown Pittsburgh.
But now there's been more than one.
Yes, because there was also the bridge collapse bus.
Well, but there's also another sinkhole that ate a bus.
Yes, there was another sinkhole bus.
It's almost like, I don't know. Shouldn't
So-
mine underneath cities and
No. So the issue with Pittsburgh is that there is an aquifer fairly close to the surface in downtown Pittsburgh. And a lot of the skyscrapers are actually like heated. They're geothermal heating. They tap into the aquifer. It's people talk about it as the fourth river or the third river, because we have the Allegheny River flanks the northern side of the city, the Monongahela flanks the southern side, and at the tip of Pittsburgh, those two rivers join to form the Ohio. So the convergence is one of my colorways, and that's to the convergence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela River. But there's also an aquifer that runs underneath the landmass of Pittsburgh. And so, I mean, if aquifers, sometimes if you get like a little air pocket or something drains wrong, you're liable to have sinkholes. That's why Florida has so many sinkholes.
Florida's just built in a swamp.
Well, but it's also built on limestone, and there's an aquifer that's fairly close to the surface. You can't dig into in parts of Florida. You can't dig 6 feet down without hitting the aquifer.
Yeah. That's why Florida doesn't have any basements.
Right. And I mean, we had tons of springs and stuff. My parents, one of the houses they moved into, there was actually a spring in their backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And they had to have drainage done to make sure that the water drained away from the house.
You were definitely going to beat me. I'm just starting my second half, but I'm having to take breaks for tea.
Well, I'm having slub problems.
Not as big as half of a spin slub problem.
I don't know. Haha. I like the slubs in this because it means that in the yarn there'll be bright little yellow specks.
Little bits of fire. Excuse me. All right. So we just have 2 more days after this.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a live stream on like St. Distaff's Day for plying.
What day is that?
January 6th, I think.
Okay.
Because that's Epiphany. Because you're supposed to put your wheels to rest between Christmas and New Year's.
Oh, okay.
Or between Christmas and Epiphany for the 12
Epiphany.
days.
Okay.
Because you're supposed to rest.
Yeah.
And then St. Distaff's Day, which is Epiphany, is when you start spinning again. St. Distaff is the patron saint of hand spinning.
All right. Sounds like as good a reason as any.
Yeah.
Becky says, I have a spring in my backyard, but not a hint of limestone.
Oh, interesting.
Oh my God, you almost spun that entire day without moving the hook.
No, I moved the hook like twice before that.
You've got
that was
quite
like
the
my
mountain.
yes.
Makes your other mountain, put your other mountain to shame.
I like mountains.
Yeah. Let's see.
I used to do 12 days of casting on
Yeah.
and cast on a new project every day between Christmas and Epiphany. And then I realized I never finished half of them. So we stopped that tradition.
So Cranky Crafts asked, does the word distaff come from the saint or the other way around?
I do not know.
Interesting. Somebody who has their hands free to Google is going to have to help us out here.
Yeah.
I was going to... Actually, I completely forgot what I was going to say. So never mind. I'll have to think of something different. So, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of planned products or things for the new year? We already talked about the spindle bowl.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, it's so spring is always kind of a messy time because it is a mix of there's always a bit of replenishing the shop after the end of the year. But that is also has to fight with preparing for Maryland sheep and wool.
Mm-hmm.
So what I usually do is I dye stuff, and if it's a good match to something I already have product listing photos for, then it goes on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Or I usually will pick like 6 fibers, and I have my 4 yarns, and that's what goes to Maryland. And if I dye something a different base, then I'll go online and I'll take fresh pictures of. But I am very amenable to requests. So like I'm currently doing a custom job for somebody for some
retreat,
time
right?
traveler. No, I'm finishing up for retreat. I remember some of the requests people have asked for in Base12 with crab mentality and hail satin. So like it's a big production time. I dye more during the first 3 months of the year than my rate at any other time of the year.
Part of that is to keep the garage warm.
It does help keep the garage warm because otherwise the garage gets too hot during the summer. And so, yeah, that's basically what's going to be. And then there's taxes.
Thank you so much for handling that.
I do my own accounting because my mother was an accountant and my high school job was working in an accounting office. So I know enough to handle my own business accounting. But it means that, you know.
Plus, as you know from talking to other fiber artists, it's hard to find an accountant that actually knows how to handle your business.
Yeah.
Ha! I finished my tea without making a mess.
And I finished my fiber.
I win? I don't know. Yeah, yesterday I was drinking my tea. This had never happened to me before. I tend to just leave the tea bags in there because I don't use caffeinated teas. So they typically, I just do herbal teas, and they typically just taste fine if you just leave the bag steeping indefinitely. And the bag decided to stick right in front of my mouth, and the liquid poured on either side of it. So I made a big mess. Oh, you're looking at the distaff thing?
Yes.
It's one of those things we got to make sure we don't let the AI hallucinate.
I'm asking Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems like it's not an actual saint. It was called Distaff Day, or Rock Day, and it's the traditional day on which women would start spinning again after Christmas. It's the day after Epiphany. And so a distaff also was called a rock. It was a medieval symbol of women's work.
Okay.
Men had their own occasion, which was Plow Monday, which was the first Monday after Epiphany. When the men are supposed to get back to work. But there was a poem in the 1600s called Saint Distaff's Day that describes this tradition.
So where'd the saint come in?
I don't know. This guy's poem.
Just because of the name of the poem.
Yes.
Interesting.
So there is no such person as Saint Distaff.
Well, now we know. The person was named after after the
There's
day.
an imaginary person. No such thing. So, us spinners get 12 days to reprieve from our labors.
So you guys can't see this, but Jill picked the absolute worst outfit for spinning in.
Well, yeah, it's black.
Because she is now covered in fiber on her lap.
Yep. This is not unusual.
Yeah.
Gab complains constantly about how they are covered in fluff because of me. Because I am covered in fluff, and then I come home, and then the house gets fluff everywhere.
Crakercraft says, it makes sense, though. There are a few saints' days during Epiphany.
Mm-hmm.
I think we missed St. Nicholas Day.
We did.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a while, Jill.
I think one of my friends was commenting that they have a friend that always throws a party for St. Nicholas.
Are they a Nicholas? Because
I don't know, but I feel like we should.
I've got my own party on my birthday.
Yes, but you should celebrate your Saint's Day.
Yeah. Any excuse for celebration, yeah?
Yes. Oh.
I would allow you to show off my socks, but I'm using my feet to treadle.
Yeah. That's why you need an e-spinner.
Yeah. Amy Hughes says, I feel like covered in fluff is Jill's natural state. Yeah.
It's unusual for me not to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a lint brush in my car.
That and your dyed hands.
Yeah.
Your hands are looking pretty good today. What happened to your thumb?
Oh, I'm taking care of a wart.
Oh, okay. Looked like
There's little bits of dye because I did dye today. I was finishing up retreat dyeing and sweater lot dyeing and.
Oh, but you usually have like, full fingers blue or something.
I've tried to be better about it this year since I deal with people.
What people do you deal with?
Like when taking you to doctor's appointments.
Oh yeah, there's that, I guess.
I don't usually see people.
You don't want to freak out the doctors with your blue hand?
Yes, I don't.
Like when I freaked out my doctor because I'd just eaten like a blue ice pop and
yes.
he saw my lips and he's like, oh my God, check this guy's O2.
No, I just had a popsicle.
Yeah. Kathleen says, I'm also often covered in fluff. Lycan really likes my favorite pair of pants.
Lycan does like to, any of the silk blends really like to grab onto. And I definitely, my wardrobe is highly selected based on how much fiber will attach to it.
Yeah.
I have some things that I almost never get to wear because
fiber likes to attach to it too
fiber
much.
likes it too much.
Well, that's why I said you picked quite the bad outfit.
Yeah, I
today,
did.
but that's okay.
I don't know. It's funny. I have this dress in 5 or 6 different colors. And it's only the black where the fiber really attaches.
Really?
Yeah.
You sure it's not just that you notice it more, or it's...
No, the hand of black dyed cotton is different.
Interesting.
Black is a really big dye molecule, and it usually makes fibers more coarse. So like even with wool, a lot of people say that like you can even get different gauge when working with a black dyed wool than other colors.
And that makes sense from a chemistry standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm. Like the reason why blues often crock onto people's hands is one, they're very pH sensitive. Some people's pH will break the dye bonds.
The pH of their sweat.
The pH of their sweat.
Yeah.
And also blue tends to be big molecules, and that's why it takes forever to exhaust.
The dye baths?
The dye baths. And why it will, it's really hard to wash a blue acid dye without getting some blue transfer to the bath. Same with reds. And you can prevent that by, one, don't soak for too long and soak in cold.
Kathleen, by the way, notes, I was going to take Lycan for an airport spinning, but it's somehow worse than a lot of the other silk blends I've used lately.
Yeah, it's a BFL Shetland silk blend, I think. I don't know, it's not dense, it's very airy, so it separates very easily.
Not something that'd be easy to dye.
Well, no, it's just that one blend. I started dyeing BFL silk, and it's beautiful to dye. It doesn't have the same issue.
Interesting. Well, that could be the colors again.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, the dyes that are already in it.
Well, and it's dyed wool and then it's blended, so
Right.
it's just not very compact.
I've still got a ways to go.
I know.
You gotta entertain the folks.
The people are getting their money's worth tonight.
Yeah. Well, no, you spun super fast. Past couple of nights we've been going for an hour. So I might be able to finish this in 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so. But
I'm glad you believe in yourself.
wow. Is that saying you don't believe in me?
I think it'll take more than 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, we got a timer now.
Yeah, light colors also show up more on black.
Yeah, Kathleen says light colors also show up more on black pants. You gotta say who's seeing it and what they're saying.
Sorry. This is why I like wearing tweed skirts.
Because everything just blends in.
Yes, it's a little bit easier to hide the fluff on a tweed. And jeans work pretty well. Fiber doesn't. I guess I need to wear more twills.
So what exactly is a twill?
A twill is a weave structure where you're like going over 2 warp threads and then under 1, or over 3 and then.
Okay.
And it can be all sorts of things, but it's a repeat of, and it's.
Are jeans a twill?
Jeans are a twill. Denim is a 3-1 twill. And that's what gives jeans their characteristic, like kind of a little bit of stretch, even though when they are 100% cotton, twill structures have more give to them.
Hollis says, I love hearing you guys chat. And that's why we do this. We want to have the conversation in front of you guys. We there's sometimes during Base 12, Jill and I are doing an errand, or we're working on something together, and we start talking about something, and I say, no, we got to stop. We got to talk about this.
Okay, so let's go a little bit more into denim then.
Okay.
So, denim, the cloth was originally from France, from Denim.
Okay.
However, but it was then woven in the U.S. Like, it's never been a big fabric in France, but it became huge in the 1860s for workwear in the U.S. with mining and cowboys and all that stuff. And the thing is that the French don't like denim fabric as workwear. They adopted a different weave structure at the same time for their workwear because 100% cotton denim isn't well suited to the French climate.
Oh.
The French
because it's too humid?
It's too damp. So denim is better, lasts longer and is easier to wear in a drier climate.
Yeah.
And if you think about where denim first, like denim workwear, denim jeans, was really took off in the U.S., it was in the Southwest and California, so a much drier climate.
Yeah.
So the French actually wear a brushed cloth that's a little bit water repellent for their workwear.
Is it also cotton, or is it more likely?
Yes, but it's a brushed cotton.
Okay.
And then, like in Japan also a lot of cotton textiles for workwear. They do a very heavy, dense woven cloth. I forget what the name of it is, but it is. And for like firefighters, was always dyed with indigo because indigo has a certain level of fire resistance. And the thing is that this dense weave, what they would do before going into a fire is that they would soak their clothes in water. And this weave would hold on to enough moisture to protect the firefighters from the fire.
Fascinating.
So they would come out steaming.
Yeah.
I love the whole history of textiles and like purpose-built clothing.
Oh, and the fact that it was functional
It was
as well
functional.
as fashionable.
Yeah.
Right? There's reasons why particular fashions took up in different areas.
And what's fascinating to me, I read this book that was about the history of the habit, like nuns' habits. And they were talking about how up until the 1960s, 1970s, Usually to join a convent, you had to pay kind of like a dowry.
Okay.
To have your place in the convent. And for many orders, your dowry was actually fabric.
Mm.
And the fabric would, it'd be like you have to bring this many yards of wool, you need this many yards of cotton, and they would list like all this different stuff. And it would be specific fabrics. And it was just like everybody still had enough textile knowledge to know like exactly what all those fabrics would be to bring them. Like, it's not like you need an explanation of like, you need this much. I forget what some of the ones were. I was like, I don't know what all these fabrics are. I'd have to look some of these up. And it just tells you how, how commonplace knowing stuff about fabrics was 50 years ago. And most people now are just like,
Well, instead, we're filling it with calculus and Pokemon. So.
Well, yes, I would agree on the Pokemon. I don't think the general populace has increased their calculus.
Okay, algebra and Pokemon.
I don't know. Have you seen some of the like high school tests from back in like the 1800s? Of like, it was like, okay, if you need to build a shed, how many like lengths of, like how many lengths of lumber do you need? And like complex algebra.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think there are plenty of high school students who could not
do that today.
Could not do that today.
Yeah, but they should be able to. The curriculum is targeting that they should be able to.
Yes. We need more teenagers just building sheds.
I mean, that was the thing for the Scouts for a while. Like, just you have to have a activity to build something.
Well, I mean, for my dad and even my cousins in rural Kansas, who are only, they're even younger than me. Carpentry was required class in high school.
Yeah.
And like, you build furniture. My dad has, we still have it. We have a bed frame and a dresser and like side tables that my dad built in high school.
Which are probably better than the bed frame that I made, but.
Yes, they are.
But I still made our bed frame.
But can you imagine graduating from high school and being like, I can make my own furniture?
Yeah. Well, my dad did that too. My dad did, because he studies as an architect.
Yes, architects also learn a lot of furniture building and shop skills.
Which is fascinating. By the way, Hollis says, congrats on your new hair growth, Nick. Thank you. Sorry, I had a little stuff I wanted to get rid of. You are right. It's been 10 minutes. I'm not done yet. But I did said 10 or 15.
Okay. I believe the 15. I just didn't believe the 10.
Okay. Close. And thank you for your patience in staying with us.
Though, Gab has been taking sewing classes, but they are much advanced to their peers.
Gab was talking about how they wanted to just teach the class because there
people
are
making poor decisions.
What was Gab complaining about the other day? That they ever heard
there was one
say, well, you could just use a glue gun for that.
Yes. And I think it was like a hymn. And then they were talking today, there was a student who just learning to sew, and for their first project they made a dress out of like lining material.
Okay.
Which is not the easiest stuff to sew with.
Right.
And it's lining, not.
Well, yeah, but it's shiny and
Yes,
attractive.
I understand. And for her second project, she's working with stretch velvet.
Oh, stretch velvet.
Stretch velvet.
I heard the velvet part, which is
Gab
gonna be hard
refuses
enough.
to work with stretch velvet.
Yeah.
Though it's very hard to find actual velvet.
Just because of how difficult it is, not because
Right.
of any prejudice against
Like stretched
stretched
fabrics
velvet.
are difficult to work with, and then velvet is a level of difficulty on top of that.
Yeah. Becky Knits says, I had to make some wooden thing in industrial arts, never finished. I got a pity pass from the teacher, Mr. Stump.
Oh, that is a good teacher's name for, like, woodshop.
Mr. Stump?
Mm-hmm. I have
So
a
as
little...
long as they have all their fingers.
Yes, I have a little wooden box I made in middle school.
I don't know if I still have the little rolling dinosaur toy that I made.
And we also developed film
Yeah.
in that class.
In your shop class.
In the shop class,
Huh.
we did photography. We made pinhole cameras, and we developed
neat.
film.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about good applied physics.
I had an actual photography class. I don't remember the name of the teacher, but I remember almost everything we talked about. And he really gave me a strong opinion on, there's tourism photography, where it is you're there, you take a picture to show that you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's photography or art photography, where you are saying something with the image, whether it be the lighting or how you set it up or
I have the
whatever.
problem that I have, like, tourism photography is not a thing in my life.
Well, you just do product photography, so.
I do take pictures when we go out, like
Yes.
when we go on trips and stuff. But, like, when somebody asks you, you have pictures from your trip, I'm like, yeah, but I don't think they're what you expect.
What are they?
I mean, usually they're flowers,
Mm-hmm.
architectural details,
Mm-hmm.
paintings I like, lots of textiles.
Which, from my high school teacher, that would be tourism photography.
Yeah, but you can't tell where I was when I took that photo.
No, but it's a matter of whether or not you are actively constructing.
There's a lot of documentary.
Yeah. It's more documentary than anything else. And Becky Nitz says, I still have, or he had all of his fingers, and I still have the turtle pillow I made in middle school home ec. I know I had middle school home ec. I have no idea what I did in that. I must have made a pillow or something at some point in time.
Adrian's excited to take some cooking classes as electives in high school.
Yeah. I think he's going to be way past what
Yes.
what they're doing as well. So, I mentioned to you before coming down that Shayna had sent me
Yes.
a bunch of Hanukkah dad jokes. So I decided to pick one of those.
Yeah.
Why did the dreidel go to therapy?
Because its thoughts kept spinning?
Because he felt his life was spinning out of control.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. Tomorrow is day
Day
B.
B.
B. B. I don't know what we're doing.
I can't.
Here.
B.
It might be backwards too. Anyways,
It is.
thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good
See
night.
ya. Bye.